I was reading through this Twitter thread the other day by Dave Harland. It's one of those really long, cathartic threads where he just picks a target and then he lets rip. And this time it was about office culture, what it was like at various places that he'd worked. And it ended with this prompt to think about what we didn't like about jobs that we'd had in the past. And a few days later, I was working on some tone of voice guidelines for a client of ours. Something popped into my head. A criticism I'd had from the ops director at an unnamed agency that I used to work for. Now, she told me that she didn't like the sales emails I'd written because it sounds sarcastic coming from you. All right, fine. I am quite a sarcastic guy. No, really? Yeah. So, if I read out an earnest, enthusiastic email, chances are it'd sound quite weird. But I wasn't reading those emails to clients, The people that were reading those emails, they'd never ever have spoken to me. They'd never have heard my voice in the first place. They'd have heard the earnest, enthusiastic voices of the sales teams. So those emails, they wouldn't have sounded weird at all. They'd have sounded like a natural continuation of the conversations that they'd already been having. Makes sense, right? Director, though, the ops director, she would not have it at all. I'd written them, therefore they were in my voice, therefore they were sarcastic to the point that they were taking the piss out of the business. So Muggins then has to rewrite them all. Brilliant. Now, that situation popped in my head not just because Dave Harland had triggered me. It's because it's something that ties a lot into your business's tone of voice. If you try and have a company tone that doesn't match the way you talk and your employees talk, it's going to come across as fake. It might even come across as quite sarcastic. Let's do an example. If your corporate tone is it's curt, it's direct, it's to the point, it's laser focused on what you're doing for your clients, there's not an ounce of fat on it, and those clients ring up, this laser focused, not an ounce of fat corporate voice, and what they actually hear is, "Hiya, Doc, oh, what weather we're having," they're going to get tonal whiplash. It's why you can't impose a tone of voice on a business from the top down. It doesn't work. You can't decide that this is how we're going to want to type, to talk, or to write, and then have everyone buy in. What you've got to do is you've got to reveal a tone of voice that your business naturally has, one that comes from the people that work for you. You can do it with a bit of soul searching. You can do it with one of our workshops. But it's all about revealing what's there and codifying it. That way, everything's natural, everything's believable, and you won't have to piss off your in-house copywriter by accusing them of the equivalent of doing a comedy accent every time they write an email.